Hey, this is Steven, K4ATZ, and I've been an amateur radio operator since I was 11 years old. Back then they had something called a novice class license, which was Morse code only. The call signs were issued as a WN and then a number. The numbers designate what part of the country you live or used to. Now it's kind of all mixed up. I think pretty much still goes by those guidelines, but anyways, the reason I'm doing this video is one crucial part of being an amateur radio operator is supporting the national organization, which not only sends a great magazine every month called QST, which I'll show a cover of one, but it also has a legal department, lobbyists. This is the way of the world. But what they fight for are our rights to frequency spectrum, frequencies that are allowed to be used by amateur radio operators. This is critical because nowadays there's an extreme fight for wavelengths, bandwidth, because of cell phones and satellites and everything else. So it's real important that the amateur radio operators maintain their rights. Why? Well, because when there's a crisis such as an earthquake, EMP, or something of that matter, to this day, when the generators go down and the cell phones aren't working and everything, the reliable source of communication, which works with the Red Cross to get emergency supplies in and out, get medical care in and out, arrange transportation to and from the hospital for doctors, arrange to evacuate people, get help in, all that is coordinated by amateur radio operators. To this day, 2016. I firmly believe in the ARRL, American Radio Relay League, which is the national organization for ham radio operators. Well, the other day I went to get my mail, and there was a strange square-shaped envelope, and I went and I looked at the return address, and it said American Radio Relay League, and I thought it was kind of large, and I was like, what could this be? I didn't order anything, no book or anything, and I opened it up, and inside there was a card, and on the card it says, "Thank you for 40 years of membership with the ARRL." I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but you can kind of figure it out if I was licensed. My phone's going, not speaking of communication errors, but I'm going to show this to you. It's not the largest pen in the world, but as they say, it's the thought that counts. I was extremely surprised, and I thought it was a very nice gesture. Now, for years I bought my membership annually. Sometimes I'd save a little and do it every 2 years, maybe 3, I don't know. But I guess, I don't know, a number of years ago, I thought, I'm going to be a ham my whole life. I'm not as active on the radio as I used to be, but I still have all my equipment. I'm able to operate. I have backup power in case there's an emergency. I can lend help, and I will always be a licensed amateur radio operator until the day I die. So I felt like I'll go ahead and become a lifetime member. A, they get a big chunk of money up front they can use. I can always donate more if I feel like it. B, I had the resources to do it, fortunately. And C, in the long run it saves me money as well. But this counts for all those years that I paid annual dues. And if I knew, I would have joined when I was younger and just saved up my money or gotten a loan, because for at least 30 of the 40 years I did it annually or every 2 years. Anyways, this was something totally unexpected, and I'm sure there's not many people that have this. A lot of people maybe join and then don't join. I've always been a member, always been a member. Well, since I got involved in amateur radio operator. The first radios when I was first licensed were tube radios. Yeah, tube radios. They are like antiques now. Now everything's gone to solid state and miniaturized. They're still big radios, but and there are still amplifiers that do have tubes. But for the most part, the transceivers, the transmitter-receiver combinations are solid state. I mean, it just, the tubes, you know, they're not made. They run hot. You know, all that stuff. But I'll show you again. I thought this was very nice pin. I haven't been to Hamfest in a while, but you know, I'm sure I'll be going at some point, and I can put this on my lapel or my hat, and there are not many people who are going to have that. I guess if I'm around in another 10 years, maybe I'll get a 50th. Maybe it'll be a little bigger than the 40th. But again, it's small, and you know, I need my glasses to kind of see it, but it's the thought, and it was a very nice gesture. So thank you, ARRL. I'll always support you, and thank you for everything you do for ham radio operators around the world. 73s from K4 ATZ.